Hi, this is Josephine Calendar, and today we're going to talk about playing games. And it's one of my favorite activities. When I was teaching, when I first started teaching, actually, a teacher, former teacher, told me, "Whatever you do, Joseanne, just make it fun, please." She said, "If you make it fun, the children will follow you like Pied Piper because they love playing." And it really touched my heart that she said that because I remember very vividly as a child, my favorite classes had a lot of activities in it. Even in the fourth grade, I had a teacher who would break with the schedule and just do a quick game of Simon Says. And so the game that we're it's like a fun game for me, and that's the game we're going to talk about this morning is Simon Says. Now, it's a follow the leader type of game, and self-esteem can be encouraged through this particular kind of game, and it's enjoyable and it's fun because it can get really silly, and the children love having a fun time doing things that aren't, oh, sit straight, um, don't do that, just let them be themselves. So, but in particular, I love games because they help the child to build and retain positive self images and acceptance of themselves, because we know that self esteem means a belief in oneself. And so you're allowing them to be themselves through a fun game in this particular one. So I'm going to just go into it. The game teaches following directions, self regulation, and listening skills. And then actually, it also teaches positive self talk if you, the adult, use that in the modeling of how to play the game. And this is all very important because that positive self talk that you're doing out loud will eventually become internalized. And this will help guide the child through more difficult situations because they've already learned how to encourage themselves. So, we're going to strengthen children and teach them how to grow and thrive through games. So, before I start teaching Simon Says, I start off with a bit of front loading, as we called it, and that's teaching some basic foundational skills that will allow the child to access what this game is about. And red light, green light is my foundational skill building activity. So I would start with some self modeling, some self talk, modeling self talk by saying, when I see a green light, what does that tell me when I'm driving or when I'm at a corner? Yes, it tells me to go. And I do cross the street. But if I see that the light is red, I don't I don't move. I stay at the corner. And as you see, I made some improvisational signs in red and green. You could also use construction paper, uh, whatever works. And I just thought most of the time we get caught up in, oh, how do I set that game up? Just you can use a crayon, you can use markers of different colors, red and green, just to dive into the game. So, as you're encouraging the child through this first level of the game, he says, yes, we always stop at the light. That's very good because when we stop at the light, we can let the traffic go by and we can stay safe. And then when we see the green light, we know that it's safe to go. And I love being able to follow directions that will help me stay safe. So you can just, riff on that and just make sure that the child understands stop is red, green is go. So we're going into, oh, and also you could even play this game around the house before I jump into Simon Says. Sometimes to build on those foundational skills, I might start walking and I said, okay, follow me, and show the child the green light. And then I said, oh, are you supposed to follow me now? And they say, no, no, it's red light. Oh, that's right, it's red. So we're all supposed to stop. And another way of just enforcing and reinforcing this particular thought process of going when it's green and stopping when it's red is doing something like freeze dance. You can turn on the music. And while the music's playing, the child dances, and you can show the green sign, the green light, and then you could turn the music down, and then, of course, they all freeze and we all freeze. And so the music can be the auditory cue of going or stopping. And children love the freeze dance game, and I do too. And as I said, it's a way of getting a lot of the nervous jitters out, and just expressing a fun for movement, the fun of movement. And but then when you bring out the red and the green light, it actually teaches the child to stop and follow directions and to focus. So this is a move. And so you can play this game at a pace that the child can actually follow it at their own pace, or you can speed up the pace when the child understands the game a lot better. And I call that hot pepper style. When I would say, Simon says, do this, do this. Simon says, do that, do that. And it keeps that child listening for the directions, and then using our visual displays of Simon says, do this, do this. You're actually telling them, no, you're not supposed to move. But yes, you move when you hear Simon says. So you connect the auditory Simon says with the green side that says that, yeah, yours to do this now. And then just do that. No, Simon didn't say it. So you're connecting those two things together all the way through the game. And I like using the stop and go sign when I play Simon Says, because it builds understanding. It's like front loading from the stop, red light, green light game to Simon Says. So that's also using a visual and an auditory cue, because that helps build understanding. And it's not just those who have auditory, who have visual processing skills that are higher and able to see that the visual has changed. Oh, I should stop. And those with auditory processing abilities could say, oh, she didn't say Simon says. So you're able to pull those with high auditory processing skills and those with high visual skills into the same game by building on both of their ability levels. So the rule is you go when you see green and you stop when you see red. And building on that foundation, you can introduce Simon Says. And so you can do this in a couple of practice runs. Now, if I say Simon Says, and I'm holding up the green sign, you know that you're to do it. And if I don't say Simon Says, are we to move? No. And so you reinforce, like, Simon didn't say that. So, you have to really, really listen and look for the red light. If Simon didn't say it, we're all stopped. But if Simon says it, we can all do what Simon says. So, let's see, I think that's the most important thing. And it leads me up to having the child become the leader. Because it's one thing to model those actions and follow the game, but then at the next level is allowing the child to generalize that game so that they can actually be the leader. And so you want your child to be the leader of the game as soon as you can see that there's an understanding of how it's played. And sometimes, just before they actually feel comfortable being the leader, it's a good time to give them that opportunity, because that reinforces the ground rules as well while they are leading the game. And they're thinking about it more thoroughly as they have to give the instruction. So I love doing this type of game because it does teach leadership skills. And as adults, we offer modeling, we offer encouragement, and now we're delegating a task. We're giving the child an ability, the opportunity to build their ability levels. And then we can, after the game, evaluate, how did it go? Did you like being the leader, or did you like being the follower? What made it hard when you were the leader of Simon Says? What was the challenge that you ran into? What's the challenge being the follower? And so you're doing all of this evaluations, building on another higher level of understanding and evaluation. And it's all done in a loving and supportive environment. So this all reinforces a child's efforts and makes it easier for the child to learn a new skill and to want to play a new game and to go into other activities that may be new to them. So we're continuing to build on the child's successes, and we're inspiring them to rise a little higher as they face new challenges. So in essence, we're teaching the children to become leaders, encouragers, and role models as they increase their own skills while playing. Thank you very much. And I'll talk with you again tomorrow. And I believe talk about some tips that I've gotten from other people who are doing home teaching during this time of quarantine. And as I said, this is Autism Awareness Month. And thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you.